third goal, which I enjoyed the most, was when it was my hat-trick, and I was through with only the keeper to beat, and I hit the post, and Nev was a bit slow, I think, and I just happened to beat him to it and get the third and in.
Ian Rush, a man whose name is synonymous with goals, remains one of the finest strikers to have graced the game.
Little ball forward for Rush, trying to get the turn. It could still fall for him. Oh, it did. Oh, Ian Rush took it so...
His career, defined by an unerring instinct in front of goal and an insatiable hunger to win, was shaped not only by the countless hours spent perfecting his craft, but also by those he admired and learned from along the way. Football for Rush was as much about absorbing lessons from others as it was about making his own mark. Over the years, he has spoken with great affection and respect about the players who left an indelible impression on him. Each, in their own way, represented something unique in the game.
Redknapp for the cutback. Rush! A moment of history for Ian Rush!
And Rush's reflections on them provide an insight into what it takes to succeed at the highest level. Frank Stapleton was the striker Rush admired most. In an era when forwards were often judged on their flair or individual brilliance,
Nelson to cross. Here is Stapleton. It's a fine goal. Well, they lost him completely.
Stapleton stood apart for his consistency, intelligence, and ability to lead the line with authority. Frank was my favourite player, Rush has said without hesitation. There was something about the way Stapleton played that resonated deeply with him. He was a forward who never seemed rushed, always composed, always in control. Whether it was at Arsenal or Manchester United, Stapleton exuded a quiet confidence that never needed embellishment. He was a forward who could do it all: hold up the ball, bring teammates into play, and most importantly, find the net when it mattered.
Stapleton. Oh, yes! Stapleton! That's his hat-trick! Knocked in. Stapleton, beautifully taken. Stapleton, and he's kept up the record.
For Rush, it wasn't just the goals that mattered, but the way Stapleton went about his business, with an economy of movement and a ruthless streak that never wavered. Watching him, Rush saw a blueprint for what he wanted to become, a striker who could be relied upon in the toughest of moments. If Stapleton was the player Rush admired for his professionalism, Jimmy Greaves was the figure who captured his imagination as a young boy.
Jones now for Greaves. He's still there with a chance. And it's there by Greaves.
Jimmy was my childhood hero, Rush has often said, and it's easy to understand why. Greaves was a player who made goal-scoring look absurdly simple, a man blessed with an ability to glide past defenders and pick his spot with effortless precision. There was a purity to the way Greaves played, a sense that he belonged on the pitch and nowhere else. Rush, even as a child, recognized that there was something special about him. Greaves had that rare gift of making everything look easy, a knack that only the greatest possess. It wasn't just about speed or power, it was about instinct, the almost telepathic understanding of where the ball would be and what needed to be done. Watching him, I learned so much, Rush has admitted. It wasn't just about scoring, it was about being in the right place at the right time, and Jimmy made that look like an art form.
Greaves changing direction so well. Oh, beautiful football. What a great goal.
And away streaks Jones. He's got Dyson in the middle. Greaves cutting it with the right wing, and Greaves has scored! To Dyson. That's a beautiful centre. In goes Greaves. He's got number 4. That must be it. It must all be over now. And away goes Greaves. A lovely bit of footwork by Greaves. And that's it. 1 to Spurs.
Rush would later discover that goal-scoring was never quite as effortless as Greaves had made it appear, but those early lessons stayed with him throughout his career. It was the sharpness in the box, the relentless movement, and the coolness under pressure that he sought to emulate. And although the game evolved around him, Rush never lost sight of what he had learned from watching Greaves in his pomp. Moving from the pitches of Britain to the grand stage of Italian football, Rush found himself in a world where the standards were relentless, and the scrutiny unrelenting. It was in Serie A, at Juventus, where he came face to face with a man who would redefine his understanding of greatness, Diego Maradona. He was the main man, Rush has said, recalling his time playing against the Argentine. "I'd never seen anyone like him. With his extraordinary talent and his magnetic presence was unlike anything Rush had ever encountered before. There was an aura about him, an ability to turn a match in an instant, and a sheer force of personality that captivated everyone who came into his orbit. But beyond the genius, there was another side to Maradona that Rush remembers with fondness. He was a gentleman," Rush has said. "He would swap shirts with you, and he'd even send Christmas cards." In a footballing landscape often dominated by fierce rivalries and cutthroat competition, Maradona's warmth and generosity left an impression on Rush that went beyond the pitch. It was a reminder that, for all the brilliance and the acclaim, football was still a game played by people with real lives and relationships beyond the 90 minutes. Rush's time in Italy may not have been as successful as his years at Liverpool, but the experience of playing in the same league as Maradona was something he cherished. There was an education in watching the Argentine at close quarters, in seeing how he carried himself, and how he could single-handedly change the course of a match.
Van Kempes, Maradona, Kempes, ha devuelto muy bien, atención Maradona, Maradona lanzamiento.
"I learned a lot from him," Rush has said, "and not just about football. While Maradona may have been the greatest opponent Rush faced, the greatest teammate was, without question, Kenny Dalglish. Their partnership at Liverpool was the stuff of legend, a combination that delivered goals, trophies, and an understanding that bordered on telepathy. Kenny was the best player I ever played with," Rush has stated, and there is no reason to doubt him. Dalglish was not just a supremely gifted footballer, he was a thinker, a man who saw the game in dimensions others could not. Playing alongside Dalglish, Rush felt a sense of assurance that few strikers are ever afforded.
I always remember one day when Kenny was there and he said, "You just run into that space." I didn't go, and he had a bit of a go at me. So I thought, next time it comes, I'm going to run into that space. And I ran into space, and the ball came to me, and I scored a goal. And I clicked then. You see, not many people can put the ball into that space, but Kenny was one of them.
Case. And Dalglish is in the clear. And Dalglish slots in a super little goal.
Dalglish. Oh, that's nice! That's lovely! Miss hit, but it's found Dalglish and he turns and scores! Sprinting across the box. Kennedy is in there. He's got the header. Dalglish the shot and it's going in! Johnson. First time to McDermott. Dalglish. And that's true. Johnson, McDermott, Dalglish, go!
"It was like playing in heaven," he once remarked, and it was easy to see why. Dalglish had an uncanny ability to pick the right pass, to anticipate movements before they happened, and to create opportunities out of nothing. For a striker like Rush, who thrived on precision and instinct, Dalglish was the perfect partner. Their relationship was not forged on words, but on an understanding that came naturally. Dalglish's touch, his awareness, and his relentless drive to win made him the ideal foil for Rush's predatory instincts. Together, they terrorized defenses across England and Europe, each complementing the other in a way that made them almost unstoppable. But if Dalglish was the perfect partner, Marco van Basten was the ultimate striker. Rush has spoken in glowing terms about the Dutchman, calling him the goal-scorer in his team, and questioning whether there was ever a better one. There was a beauty to Van Basten's game, a poise and elegance that few strikers could match. He was a forward who could do everything, score with both feet, dominate in the air, and finish with an unerring calmness that defied the pressure of the moment. Rush saw in Van Basten a player who embodied the ideal striker, someone who could be the focal point of a team and deliver when it mattered most. He was just something else, Rush has said, and his admiration is clear. Van Basten's ability to score from improbable angles, to create space where none seemed to exist, and to finish with unerring accuracy set him apart from his peers.
Van Tiegelen's got support here from Arnold Muren. Van Basten's on the far side of the penalty area now to volley it. Oh, I say, what a goal!
Rifatti vedere Virbis che porta via Sanchis da centro area, parte il traversone. Van Basten, stupendo! Palla, gol! Se non lo dà questo, e c'è il gol che è stupendo!
As Rush reflects on the players who shaped his career and influenced his understanding of the game, it becomes clear that each one offered something different. Stapleton provided the example of professionalism and consistency. Greaves showed him the art of goal scoring. Maradona demonstrated the sheer force of individual brilliance. Dalglish proved that football is a game of partnerships, and Van Basten exemplified what it meant to be the complete striker. For all his achievements and accolades, Rush has never been one to indulge in self-congratulation. His focus has always been on learning, improving, and respecting those who came before him. The players he admired were not just names on a team sheet. They were figures who helped him understand what it meant to be a footballer at the highest level. And in paying tribute to them, Rush offers a glimpse into what drove him to become one of the most celebrated goal scorers of his generation.